Hi, I'm Anne, and I want to talk to you about how you deal with stress. Because there's so much stress these days for so many people. Stress is all around us, and we all need ways to deal with it. And if your ways of dealing with stress are working well for you, then I'm your cheerleader, yay, way to go. But many of us deal with stress in ways that actually stress us even more. So then the thing that was supposed to give you relief from your stress is actually another problem you have to deal with. Case in point, stuffing yourself with food when you're not hungry, but you have to have some way to numb the feelings that are coming at you too fast for you to handle. Do you ever do that? I know I have. And that's what was going on with my student Gary. Gary has a lot of pressure on him. Busy, demanding job, deadlines stacking up, plus the company might be downsizing and the people are eyeing each other suspiciously, trying not to be the next to go. Not a very supportive environment. On top of that, Gary's mom, who lives in another state, keeps falling down and might need to be moved to assisted living. And right now, Gary's dad seems to be able to take care of things, but that might change. And any day there might be a phone call saying Gary is needed. And it all adds up to stress. And Gary has been handling his stress by stuffing himself with food, especially late at night when he's seeking some kind of relief from all the uncertainties and pressures of the day. But overeating at night affects his sleep, and then that affects his performance at work the next day, and on and on. It isn't the best way to handle stress, and Gary knew that. And he was tired of the cycle of stress, overeating, undersleeping, more stress. So he decided to try something he learned from me. It starts with the idea that if we can change our relationship with stressful emotions, then we don't have to stuff them down with food or other addictions. Well, hey, that's nice in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? Okay, so what I suggested to Gary was that he used the urge to eat huge amounts of food late at night as a signal that there was something emotional going on that needed his attention. I suggested that he acknowledge the urge to stuff himself and then look to see if there was a stressful emotion triggering that urge. And then spend some time listening to that stressful emotion so it could relax. So Gary told me about what happened when he put this plan into practice. He found himself at the end of a stressful day, too many emails, too many meetings, too many deadlines, feeling exhausted and thinking of nothing but a huge plate of greasy mac and cheese. Well, fortunately, he had just a little bit of free attention to recognize what was happening. And here's what he did, and I'm going to break it down into 3 steps so you can try it yourself if you want to. 1, he recognized the urge to overstuff himself and he acknowledged it, using the phrase, something in me really wants to stuff myself with mac and cheese. 2, he wondered if he was feeling a stressful emotion that was driving the need to fill himself full of food. He paused so he could really sense, asking himself the question, is there something I'm trying not to feel? And he didn't try to answer that question by thinking. He just asked it in his body and waited. Is there something I'm trying not to feel? And what came to him was the voicemail from his dad that morning, sounding worried that Gary's mother seemed to be having more cognitive issues. Gary realized he'd been feeling helpless, unable to do anything to really change things for his parents. Okay, so 3, he acknowledged the helpless feeling, using the phrase, something in me. Something in me feels helpless to really do anything for Dad and Mom. And amazingly, that felt better. Nothing new had happened. Nothing in the external world had changed. But by acknowledging that something in him felt helpless, Gary felt a kind of inner relief, like naming the feeling allowed it to relax. And best of all, he no longer felt hungry in that gotta stuff myself way. He just had a snack, and that was enough. I've seen this happen over and over again, and it's like a little miracle each time. We don't have to fix ourselves. We don't have to make our feelings change. We don't have to argue with ourselves to find another feeling to feel instead. Luckily, because none of that works very well, does it? It seems that what our feelings do need is for us to acknowledge them. Well, what is acknowledging? It's like saying hello. It's like saying, yes, I know you're there. Yes, I get how you're feeling. It turns out that our feelings love that. It's what they've been waiting for. And when we can acknowledge our feelings without letting them knock us over or sweep us away, then we don't actually need those habits we've been using to not feel our feelings. We don't need them anymore because we have the inner space to allow our feelings to be as they are. Perhaps even to give us some information about what we need to do. So what were those 3 steps again? 1, recognize the urge to overeat or to overdrink or to get high or to go blank by binge watching TV or scrolling through social media for hours or whatever it is for you. Use the language of something in me wants to, so you can acknowledge the urge without judging it, right or wrong. 2, wonder if you're feeling a stressful emotion that's driving that need to do that numbing behavior. Pause so you can really sense and ask yourself the question, is there something I'm trying not to feel? And don't try to answer that question by thinking, just ask it in your body and wait. Is there something I'm trying not to feel? And when something comes, acknowledge it using the phrase, something in me. As in, something in me feels anxious about the talk I'm giving tomorrow. Or something in me is feeling overloaded by too much pressure at work. And notice what happens when you do that. There might be a surprising amount of relief just from taking a moment to acknowledge what's happening for you. Well, I just want to say that overeating is a complex issue. There might be other things going on that would make this not so simple to change. Even my student Gary found that his urge to fill himself up with food didn't vanish overnight. Sometimes he didn't catch it in time and he did overeat. Other times he was just too overwhelmed or tired to feel much of a change from discovering and acknowledging the feeling underneath. But here's the thing. Every time you turn toward your stressful feelings with compassion and feel relief, instead of letting them drive you into doing things that end up stressing you more, that's a good thing. That's a victory. Every time makes it easier the next time. And over time, it all adds up to a new relationship with yourself and a new way of being in your life. And I want to support you in taking a few moments today to turn toward your own stressful feelings and say, something in me feels stressed, and I'm saying hello to that. So you can feel the greater calm that comes. Because that seemingly small move is really the first big step to creating powerful changes in your life. And here's to you, having a more peaceful life.